In this video, we're going to be creating a slicer in Power BI Desktop, which will enable us to filter our data and show our visualizations in a slightly different way, using some data that we've already imported in. Now, I'm hoping you're familiar with the series so far that I put together on Power BI, and let me know what you're thinking of it, what you think of Power BI Desktop, whether you think it's something you'd love to work with. So if you are familiar with it, then we can look at the next step of using it. If this is the first video you've come to, I'd really recommend you go back, watch the whole series, because it will get you up to speed with what we've been doing so far. So we've already got our data set called pupils, which you can see over here, and now I want to use a slicer to view data in different ways. So what I'm actually going to do first is create a table, and I'm going to bring through the maths percentage and change that to an average, and the reading percentage and change that to an average. There it is. And then the science, and we'll change that, and then the writing percentage. And again, it's showing quite small, so I'm going to, I'm firstly going to expand this out so I can see it all, and then I'm going to change the column headers to be 14. And then I'm going to change the values to be 14 as well. There's all sorts of other lovely things I can do with my formatting, but for the moment I'll leave it like that. So if I just adjust this, I can see that a bit closer together, and just format it a bit tidier, and I might want to put a border on just to make it all kind of stand out a little bit. I can actually rename my fields if I want to, so if I click on one of the fields, I can actually rename it. So I might want to make it a little tidier, so average maths percentage, for example, just makes it a little bit smaller. So you can see what we can do with the data and the data in the table. And sometimes I may not want to split it by another field within this table, and this is where the use of slicers can be really powerful. So we've got a really simple table that we can use, that we can move around to different parts of the report. So I might want to make this really stand out. But by using a slicer, I'm going to go over to visualizations and click on the slicer. And this time I'm going to bring over a field of my choice. I'm going to use gender in this instance, so I'll bring that over. And what that will do is it will give me a list of all of the categories, all the data that's in that field. So I've got female and I've got male. So I can change that by clicking on this drop down arrow to either show as a list as it is or a drop down. So this makes it a little tidier, so it's not taking up as much space. So now what I can do is if I want to specifically look at how all the girls are getting on in the class, I can click on the female, and it automatically updates the view here. So we had 65.72 for females, overall it's 60%. And I can do the same for the males, and it'll update it. So this is a really powerful way of making all your data update from one central filter. And if I add other visualizations on as well, that they would be interacting in that way, and they would get filtered down using this slicer. So really, really powerful and very, very easy to create. So if you want to learn more about how amazing Power BI is, then click on subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notifications.